after a delay of some, I don't know how many minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, the parade is off again. So is now catching up with me from the other side. So we now have a second attempt to film all of the players and actors. I don't know whether that was just simply a delay for regrouping or whether they had to wait for something else to happen significant. But the police cars are gaining on me from behind, so I've got to find a good spot to get over at the side and start filming again. This looks like a nice place. Wasn't anybody standing here, so here I go standing again, and hopefully seeing the parade again. This time hopefully full without stopping in the middle. Who have we got in there? Anybody important? I think it's the policeman. So making sure everybody's behaving themselves on their way up, so that these cars can then progress properly, so that people are now up on the sides properly. Then somebody's got some tear gas there, that's nice. Anybody likes tear gas, wants a cup of it, then he's the guy to go and ask. I think it's 10p a cup. All very crackly, that music. See if they make a better job of it this second time. It's like a funeral march. The speed of the music doesn't really correspond to the speed of the walking. getting a bit faster. Stopped again. So it's like critical mass before it really gets going, and then it gets ridiculously fast. Lots of people looking down from windows now as before. Much waviness of arms. Kalashnikovs. They may be replicas. So everybody with a cannon strap around their neck is going down the side thing. I've got a cannon strap around my neck as well, but I'm not doing that. Doesn't give you the right to everything, you know. Most of these people look distinctly impatient about getting on with the march rather than be stopping every 5 seconds. This guy's patience is getting distinctly tried. Marching on the spot, not a particularly good use of energy that you need to conserve to use against the enemies of Poland, like the other 26 member states of the European Union, for example. Right, let them go and then you'll be able to get a good swing at it. Okay, it's safe to go now. Perhaps it isn't, they've stopped. I'm right in front of a gap. That's not very interesting, is it? More music going on down there, more live bandy music. These are the folk that were, I think, just in front of me before when I stopped. They're the customs guards, customs border guards. So if anybody's got any illicit, yes, they're the ones that were. They stopped in front of me before, so now I'm seeing new faces from this point on. Hopefully there's still a bit of battery. There are some ladies amongst the customs guard. They're the ones that are supposed to probe the females coming through customs with possible looks like a veteran in a wheelchair. Maybe he's a veteran of that regiment, which is why he's getting wheeled along next to them. Right, blow some trumpets. Well, this was drums better than nothing. One of those soldiers had a black eye. He should be fighting the enemy and not his fellow. This ragtaggle band is the children's army, and this lot, they're the Sarmatians. There's 101 of them. Here we have Polish army uniforms from throughout the ages. This is Napoleon's period. You can get, they look pretty not too pleased because they've got to go to Russia. They don't stop at the end of the march, they just carry on until they get to Moscow and come back very cold. Not quite sure what period this one is. This looks a bit First World War-y. That might be the 1920s uniform for the war again between Pilsudski and the Bolsheviks. Most of these folk are actually too young to have served in the First World War, but they're interested in history and reliving it, etc. There are lots of people with that hobby in Poland. In fact, you almost could call it a national obsession, so there's no shortage of people to get themselves dressed up in these things and come out on these parades. You put your names into a gigantic hat and they get pulled out if you're lucky, and you can join the parade. The hat actually stretches all the way from Krośniewice to Kalisz. Unfortunately, Alan Heath of Alan Heath Channel fame, despite being such a wybitny historyk, isn't here today, so maybe he will be able to offer some comments on the channel as to what these various uniforms are from different points in history, different regiments. Some of these people are not really in standard uniforms. I expect that's from periods of Polish history when it wasn't possible to even grab a uniform. In the 1920s, it was almost an army of amateurs that Pilsudski grabbed together in order to fight the invading Russians, the invading Red Army. This is a access all areas vehicle with blacked out things. I think the president was in it or something. Hello.
Proszę Państwa, jeszcze raz chciałem z całego serca podziękować za tak masowy udział w Marszu dla Niepodległości. Marszu ku naszej niepodległości, ku jej umocnieniu. Wspominać będziemy wszystkich wielkich Polaków, twórców naszej niepodległości. Byliśmy u prymasa Wyszyńskiego, u marszałka Piłsudskiego. Tu jesteśmy w takim miejscu, gdzie trzeba powiedzieć, że tu czegoś brakuje. Brakuje takiego miejsca, takiego upamiętnienia, w którym byśmy mogli wszyscy razem oddać hołd wspaniałym postaciom związanym z niepodległościowym socjalizmem, z PPS-em, od marszałka Piłsudskiego, od tych, którzy walczyli o sprawiedliwość społeczną i narodową, i wolność narodową. Tutaj jesteśmy blisko, tu jest ulica Warecka, była niedaleko stąd redakcja Robotnika. Tego samego Robotnika, który redagował i drukował marszałek Józef Piłsudski. Tego samego Robotnika, którego redaktorami byli wszyscy najwybitniejsi działacze PPS-u. Także Ignacy Daszyński. Chciałem wyrazić ogromną nadzieję, że w Warszawie, może bliżej Sejmu, bo tam jest więcej trochę miejsca, znajdzie się trwałe upamiętnienie pięknej postaci Ignacego Daszyńskiego, wielkiego Polaka, wybitnego przywódcy
I think
socjalistycznego,
it's just a recording made by the
człowieka,
president. I
który
don't think it's actually him in there.
socjalizm niepodległościowy. Chciałem powiedzieć, że w tym miejscu, tu na Wareckim, trzeba
After all, we aren't
wspomnieć
actually on
przy
Warocki
Bogdanie
Street at all.
Borusewiczu i przy innych ludziach, którzy świadomie nawiązywali do tradycji robotnika w czasach już naszej walki z komunizmem, o naszą wolność, o naszą niepodległość, wydając, drukując, reagując i rozprowadzając robotnika tajne pismo polskiej opozycji, które współkształtowało polską solidarność, zbudowało świadomość w kręgach polskich robotników, tak jak wtedy w trakcie I wojny światowej. Bogdan, serdecznie Ci za to dziękuję. I widzę Cię na czele Komitetu Budowy Pomnika Ignacego Daszyńskiego.
It's always nice to get some feedback on these occasions. Right, are these the political bods then? Coming past? Who's all this? Oh, lots of really hefty. Of course, there's lots of very similar. For all I know, the president could be inside of this one or inside of a different one, and we just can't see because they're all blacked out. So these elites aren't particularly close to the people, let me tell you. It's about time we had some people with balls that actually got out and got next to people and shook a few hands like the Queen used to do, rather than just go down these anonymous cars and nobody knows who's in which one. That's cowardly. You've got to let people have a shot at you if they want to, otherwise there's no fun in it. Okay, so this now looks like an unofficial group of people just wandering down the road behind the main thing. I don't think there's any particular... Oh, this is now a... Oh, they are making sure people are staying on the curb. So it's still a... Oh, here he is. There's Komorowski there. I take it all back. He's there in the middle of the people. There he is. See him? Hi. He said, come and march with me. So he's there. The old Prez is there. You saw him. That's not the first president you've seen, of course, on my channel. You've also seen Václav Klaus. In his case, he shook hands with me on camera. You've probably also seen Gorbachev, but only as a still photo because I didn't have that as a film, shaking hands with me. I haven't shaken hands with Komorowski, but my son has puked up all over his carpet. He was kind enough to have autistic children round his place one time, and well, I don't think my son's going to be invited back, put it that way. Although he was very good about it at the time. So here we go, this is the unofficial march. People with very serious, much more tripody than my tripodiness, and a proper camera with real TV stuff going on. That's a TVP camera, Television Poland, Telewizja Polska. So now we can join in and take part in this march anytime we particularly feel like it. As I think I mentioned earlier, this isn't a march with any particular political aim. There are other marches with a particular slant for political opinion. Left-wing ones and right-wing ones, ultra-left and ultra-right ones. I'm sure there are lefties and righties here, but not ultras. They're more interested in celebrating independence, that they don't have to be under the German jackboot or the Russian vodka bottle. Although they make very good vodka here anyway, of course. And at some point it's going to make sense to join in this fun part. However, at the moment I'm just letting you just let this run on so that you get an idea of the size of this, the number of people that have been involved in it as a single take. I think since the beginning of the procession, I basically filmed this particular press of the button. It's been going on now for 21 minutes, and in that space of time quite a lot of people have passed my camera looking at me as though I'm some kind of Leavesden dropout. Leavesden, of course, doesn't actually have a mental hospital on it anymore. It's now a housing estate. Those who live there can take pleasure in the fact that in the space where they're now hosing themselves down in the shower of a morning, people that use their own feces as their prime mode of expression were hosed down in the not too distant past. Anyway, that's all Hertfordshire, nothing to do with Warsaw at the moment, so I'll try and get back on topic again. These are ordinary Polish people, happy to be independent and to have their own destiny. Unlike certain other peoples, like the Kurds, for example. The Kurds are not able to take part in a march like this of independence because they haven't got an independent state. Why? Because we haven't given them one to them, even though twice we've used them as an excuse to go to war in Iraq. Nevertheless, we still didn't, despite using them as an excuse on 2 occasions, do anything for them. Maybe it will be third time lucky, who knows. Don't hold your breath if you're Kurdish and watching this particular show, but nevertheless, this isn't a time to talk about the Kurds. This is a time to talk about the Poles who have had their way, unlike the Kurds who've not had their way, despite the existence of such a phrase. Now I'm going slightly against the grain just because I want to feel as I'm walking forward a little bit, but I'm actually going to start turning around and going with the crowd at 3 o'clock, and I would like to save some battery for that. At 3 o'clock we've got the ultra. Oh, here we go. Right, more. We want more of that.
A zna pani jeszcze jak poprosi, a druga za nim.
So I seem to have drifted into the march at this point. I'm not sure if I'm halfway in or only a quarter in or 3/4 of the way down it. Better save some of actually I don't have to save any of this because I've got filmability on the Canon as well. So I'll let this go as long as it will go. The red battery light's already flashing. So the next parts of this will not be on the Vado Creative, they'll be on this Canon, but there's still the same cyber power director deals with all of it in the end, so you won't tell much difference, I suppose. Maybe you will, I don't know, difficult to say.
I mówisz, jak w imieniu Przepraszam bardzo, ale ja ze względu na... Ja jestem Kowalska, więc nie wiem, możemy się...
Siedzieli ułani pod okienką, pukają, pukają, już panienka pukają, pukają, panienką. Cóż to za wojacy, o Jezu, o cóż to za wojacy, otwieraj, nie wyjdzie, Polacy, otwieraj, nie puszczaj, Polacy. Przyszliśmy na wojnę, nasze konie. Przyszliśmy na wojnę, nasze konie. Za nami piechody, pełne łonie, za nami piechody, pełne łonie. A Boże, a bombą doprowadzi.
Now it looks like the busker put paid to the real music. That's a bit of a pity. Remind me to go and kick his head in later.